Three-quarters of an inch of ice is about to shut down power for millions of people across 15 states. And if you live anywhere between Texas and Maine, the next 72 hours could be the most dangerous winter event you have seen in decades. Right now, as I am recording this, Dallas is being buried under snow. Nashville is getting pounded, and this is just the beginning. Here is what is coming for your city in the next 24 hours. But first, let me ask you this. Do you know exactly when the ice storm will hit your neighborhood? Because the difference between being prepared at 8 p.m. tonight versus 2 a.m. tomorrow morning could determine whether you have power for the next week. Stay with me, because at the 30-second mark, I will reveal the 3 specific time windows that will affect 70 million Americans. Right now, we have an enhanced risk stretching from New Mexico to Virginia. That is over 2,000 miles of dangerous winter weather. And here is the critical detail most forecasters are not telling you. Everybody in that zone will experience freezing rain, snow, sleet, or all 3 at some point today. That includes Dallas, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, Bentonville, Arkansas, Louisville, Kentucky, Nashville, and Lynchburg, Virginia. But there is a moderate risk zone, a 4 out of 5 danger level, where the impacts will be catastrophic. And it is not because of snow, it is ice. Ice accumulations of 3/4 of an inch to possibly 1 full inch. Let me put that in perspective for you. 1/4 inch of ice can snap power lines. 1/2 inch brings down tree branches. 3/4 of an inch, that shuts down entire regions. And we are forecasting up to 1¼ inches in some locations. Now comment below with your city name and I will give you a personalized forecast for your exact area. Thousands of people are already doing this, and I am responding to every single one. Let me give you the reward I promised at 30 seconds. Here are the 3 critical time windows. Time window number 1. Tonight at 8 p.m., freezing rain begins from the Mexico border to the Kentucky-Tennessee border. Time window number 2, tomorrow Sunday at 9 a.m., the massive ice storm reaches full intensity from Jackson, Mississippi to Memphis, Tennessee. Time window number 3, Monday morning, heavy snow slams Boston and Maine while ice problems continue from Charlotte to Richmond. Which window affects you? Keep watching, because I am about to break down over 70 cities with exact timing. Let us start with what is happening right this second. Dallas, it is snowing heavily right now. San Antonio, same story. Oklahoma City, you are in it. Nashville, the snow is coming down hard. These cities already have 3 to 6 inches on the ground. And we are about to double that, or even triple it in some locations. Tonight at 8 p.m., here is what the radar will show. Austin, Texas. You switch to freezing rain. San Angelo, freezing rain. Dallas, still mixed precipitation. Oxford, Mississippi, this is where the heaviest freezing rain develops. We could see accumulations over 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of ice in Oxford, Nashville, Jackson, Tennessee, Clarksville, Knoxville. You are getting intense freezing rain tonight. And this is the danger zone. We do not want ice accumulating on power lines and trees, but that is exactly what is going to happen through the overnight period. At 8 p.m., Oklahoma City transitions to all snow. Levick, all snow. Bentonville, Arkansas, all snow. Kansas City, all snow. Springfield, Missouri, all snow. St. Louis, all snow. Springfield, Illinois, all snow. Louisville, all snow. Lexington, all snow. Pikeville, all snow. Maysville, all snow. Cincinnati, all snow. Columbus, the snow just begins. And areas just west of Richmond, Virginia, snow starts falling. But let me pull this forward to Sunday morning at 9 a.m. This is when the massive ice storm is completely underway. We are going to have power outage problems from Jackson, Mississippi up to Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and back into Memphis. From the time freezing rain starts in Nashville all the way to 9 a.m. Sunday, this will be a relentless, non-stop freezing rain event. Now, here is something interesting. There is one thing that could save Nashville and Clarksville from a more serious ice storm. It is called the warm nose. That is a layer of warm air aloft that will keep Knoxville, Chattanooga, and Huntsville mostly ice-free. It is snowing in these areas right now, but it will change to plain rain before too long, and that will cut down on ice and snow totals. But if this warm air layer ends up being thicker, which we discussed as a possibility yesterday, that could push warmer air into Nashville and reduce ice problems. It will start washing away the sleet and accumulated ice. So we are hoping for a wider column of warm air riding up the northwestern side of the Appalachian Mountains. Unfortunately, that thick warm air is why some areas will not get heavy snow. It will snow quite a bit today before the ice starts, but then it gets washed away. The thicker that warm air column is, the better off Nashville will be. But that means ice problems push farther west into Memphis, Jackson, Mississippi, Clarksville, Bowling Green, and maybe even Lexington, Kentucky. Just yesterday, many forecasters were predicting 15 inches of snow for Lexington. We said 7 inches. Why? Because we thought that warm air layer would be thicker than models showed. And it turns out that is likely the case. Lexington will probably switch from snow to sleet early Sunday morning. If you are a snow lover in Lexington, I hope this does not happen, but if it does, your snow total drops significantly. I think Evansville, Louisville, and Cincinnati are still good for heavy snow. But keep that warm nose in mind for friends along the Interstate 64 corridor between Lexington, Huntington, and Charleston, West Virginia. Richmond, Virginia, snow starts by 11 p.m. Saturday night. Washington, D.C., snow starts around the same time. Heavy snow in Washington, D.C. by 6 a.m. Sunday. Columbus, Ohio, moderate to heavy snow. Pittsburgh, heavy snow. Wheeling, heavy snow. Morgantown, heavy snow. Elkins, heavy snow, all by Sunday morning at 6 a.m. New York City, snow starts at 6 a.m. Sunday. Washington, D.C. switches to sleet and freezing rain around 11 a.m. Sunday. And this is going to be a travel nightmare. I would not want to be on roads in Washington, D.C. after 3 or 4 inches of snow falls. Then it starts sleeting. Then it starts raining on top of the sleet while temperatures stay below freezing. That is an absolute disaster scenario. Heavy snow around 4 p.m. in New York City. There is a slight chance we switch to sleet, but I am still pulling for a slightly more southern track. I think it is possible New York City stays all snow throughout the storm. Boston, definitely all snow. We expect well over a foot, potentially up to 2 feet of snow in Boston. Now let me update you on ice totals. Nothing has changed. We are expecting potentially over 1 inch of ice accumulation in south-central portions of Middle Tennessee. We could have 3/4 of an inch to 1 1/4 inches of ice. That could be even higher farther south and west near Tupelo, Mississippi. This extends down to Greenville, Mississippi, Rolling Fork, and Lake Providence, Louisiana. That is our #1 hot zone for ice problems. Prolonged power outages are very possible, but everyone in the pink zone could have ice issues. Even just 1/10 of an inch of ice causes very dangerous travel conditions. It causes intermittent power problems. We are expecting over 1/2 an inch of ice in northeast Georgia, northwest South Carolina, and up into North Carolina. These areas will get hit so hard by ice that the Waffle House in Greenville is closed. And they do not close unless it is going to be bad. Why is 1/2 an inch to 3/4 of an inch of ice such a problem? We have much more infrastructure in the tree canopy. Trees, hills, power lines going through hills and trees. It leads to a big mess. Driving up and down those hills is harder when there is ice on roads. It is too late to prepare now. Hopefully everyone is already prepared. Everyone is talking about this storm. I truly do not believe anyone does not know about this storm. So hopefully everyone is not scared, but rather prepared. One thing I am hoping for is that we do not see over 1 inch of ice anywhere. It is possible. Not likely, but possible, especially if the freezing rain falls hard. Imagine trying to get ice to build up on a surface. What would be easier, hosing it down with a fire hose or sprinkling it with a mist? The mist freezes faster and accumulates more efficiently, right? Many of these rain showers will technically be freezing rain, but they will be downpours. That might lower the amount of ice that actually builds up because it is coming down so fast. Why so fast? These are convective showers. These are thunderstorms. We talked about thunder sleet, thunder snow, and thunder ice. Well, we are actually going to have regular thunderstorms tomorrow as well. We have a slight risk of severe weather in portions of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and the Florida Panhandle. This is a slight risk with a 5% tornado risk. That is right. As the cold front comes through, there will be enough lift out front that multiple supercells could pop up. Those will be capable of producing tornadoes. The line itself will produce what we call QLCS tornadoes. Tornadoes baked into the line of storms, not dependent on their own parent supercell. This is fascinating. We knew there would be thunderstorms, but now it looks like they will be strong enough to produce multiple tornado warnings tomorrow. If you live in Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, or the Florida Panhandle, make sure you have a way to get warnings. You have been looking north and laughing, saying, "This is why I live in Florida," but now you have to pay attention to this storm too. Now for snow lovers, how much snow could we possibly see? Let me give you the national blend of models. This is an average, a blend of all models together. It often shows slightly higher amounts than what actually happens, but this is on the higher end of what to expect, starting up north and east where snow has not started yet. I still think we are looking at over 16 to 18 inches of snow in Boston. Some models show 2 feet. I think that is definitely possible. We are going to have a deformation band drop snow at 3 to 4 inches per hour. That is going to be wild. That will drop a ton of snow. Albany, New York could see up to 19 inches. It is very realistic that most of New York State ends up with more than a foot of snow. But notice along the Interstate 95 corridor, you can see the warm nose starting to kick in. We have talked about this many times. This is always the consideration for East Coast snow. How much will warm air win? I still think there is a good chance New York City stays all snow, but some models show sleet mixing in. That brings totals down a bit. We are still looking at potentially 10 inches in New York City, 8.9 inches in Philadelphia, 7 to 8 inches in Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. I would not get attached to those numbers, but they are still possible. It will definitely start as a big thumping of snow, big-time travel problems. But there is a chance sleet and freezing rain knock down totals a bit. 14 inches is possible on the high end for Pittsburgh, 13 inches in Columbus, Cincinnati, 14 inches on the high end for sure, 12 inches in Louisville and Indianapolis. Some models show up to 12 inches in St. Louis. I tend to say we can expect slightly less, but it is on the table. Joplin, Missouri, 9.5 inches. Tulsa, Oklahoma, 8.7 inches. Oklahoma City, 8 inches. This looks lower than yesterday, but remember, this is on top of what you already have. Many places already have 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of snow on the ground. We are going to double that, sometimes more than double. 8 additional inches in Oklahoma City and similar areas. Now let me show you the lower end of what is possible. 13 inches in Boston. Even on the lower end, New York shows 11.2 inches. That is actually higher in Baltimore and Washington than the other model. This model is more realistic, more refined with totals, but it still shows mostly snow for Washington, Baltimore, and Philadelphia. I am going to tell you, though, do not hug these models. Do not get emotionally involved. It is possible we see a bit less snow in Washington, D.C. I can smell it coming. So we are hoping for the best if you are a snow lover. But if you hate snow, root for the warmer scenario. We are still talking about potentially a foot of snow in Evansville, Louisville, and Cincinnati. Notice totals going down in Lexington, just like we thought. That trend will likely continue. 4 inches in Bowling Green and Clarksville, maybe 3 inches in Nashville, but much of that gets washed away. I think we already have more than 3 inches in some Nashville areas right now, but rain will start working on that. 8.3 inches in St. Louis sounds more realistic. Many of these numbers are the same through Oklahoma and Texas. That is our updated snow forecast. Now, here is why we are so concerned with the ice storm. We really think there is a pretty good chance many people will be without power for more than 12 hours after this storm. Some people will be without power for multiple days. Then what happens? After the storm, the Arctic high that caused the storm in the first place settles down in the southeast. It brings temperatures near record levels. It will be colder than it has been in a very long time in Memphis, Nashville, much of Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, and East Texas. If it is 10 degrees outside or 0 degrees and there is no power, and you do not have an alternate heating source, that is a really dangerous situation. That is why we have been trying to get the message out. Check on your neighbors, especially if they are elderly. Bring your pets inside. Make sure you have an alternative heating source besides the one depending on electricity in your home. If you do not have one, locate the nearest warming shelter. Know how to get there. Know how to get your loved ones there if they do not have transportation. I think we will be all right. Do not be scared. Be prepared. Speaking of being prepared, get locked and loaded. Buckle in, because winter just started. This is just the start. Cold air is locked in for the southeast. Florida might as well be Ohio. Virginia, it is staying cold. The whole southeast will be significantly below average for the next 6 to 10 days. There is another signal for another big storm. In the next video, if it is still there, I promise I will talk about it. I am not talking about it until we are more than halfway done with our current storm, though. Let me give you city-by-city timing now. This is what you have been waiting for. Abilene, Texas, snow begins Saturday evening, transitions to mixed Sunday morning, total accumulation 6 to 8 inches snow equivalent. Akron, Ohio, snow begins Saturday night, heavy Sunday morning, expect 10 to 12 inches. Albany, New York, snow begins Sunday morning, intensifies afternoon, total 16 to 19 inches possible. Albuquerque, New Mexico, light snow and mixed Saturday, mainly north and east of city, 2 to 4 inches. Amarillo, Texas, snow ongoing, continues through Sunday, additional 4 to 6 inches, total 8 to 10 inches. Atlanta, Georgia, rain Saturday night, possible ice Sunday morning in northern suburbs, mainly rain in city. Austin, Texas, snow changes to freezing rain Saturday evening, changes to rain overnight, ice accumulation 1/10 to 2/10 inch. Baltimore, Maryland, snow begins late Saturday, heavy Sunday morning, changes to sleet and freezing rain Sunday afternoon, total 5 to 8 inches. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, rain Saturday night through Sunday, possible thunderstorms, no winter weather. Birmingham, Alabama, rain Saturday night, possible ice Sunday morning north of city, thunderstorms possible Sunday. Boise, Idaho, no impacts from this system. Boston, Massachusetts, snow begins Sunday morning, intensifies Sunday afternoon and evening. Very heavy at times, 16 to 24 inches possible. Winds gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour. Ends Monday afternoon. Buffalo, New York, snow begins late Saturday, continues Sunday, 8 to 12 inches. Charleston, South Carolina, rain begins Saturday night, possible ice inland Sunday morning, mainly rain coast. Charleston, West Virginia, snow begins Saturday evening, heavy at times Sunday, transitions to sleet and freezing rain Sunday afternoon, 8 to 12 inches snow before changeover. Charlotte, North Carolina, snow begins Saturday night, changes to sleet and freezing rain Sunday morning, ice accumulation 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch, very dangerous conditions, 3 to 5 inches snow before changeover. Chattanooga, Tennessee, snow Saturday, changes to rain Saturday night, mainly rain Sunday, 2 to 4 inches snow. Chicago, Illinois, light snow Saturday night, 1 to 3 inches, system tracks south of city. Cincinnati, Ohio, snow begins Saturday afternoon, heavy at times Saturday night and Sunday, 12 to 14 inches possible, winds gusting 35 miles per hour. Cleveland, Ohio, snow begins Saturday evening, heavy Sunday, 10 to 13 inches. Colorado Springs, Colorado, no impacts from this system. Columbus, Ohio, snow begins Saturday evening, very heavy Sunday morning, 11 to 13 inches, winds gusting 30 miles per hour. Columbus, Georgia, rain Saturday night through Sunday, possible thunderstorms. Dallas, Texas, snow ongoing, additional 4 to 6 inches through Saturday evening, changes to freezing rain Saturday night, changes to rain Sunday morning, total snow 8 to 10 inches, ice accumulation 1/10 to 2/10 inch. Denver, Colorado, no impacts from this system. Des Moines, Iowa, light snow Saturday night, 2 to 4 inches. Detroit, Michigan, snow begins Saturday evening, continues Sunday 7 to 9 inches. El Paso, Texas, no significant impacts. Evansville, Indiana, snow begins Saturday afternoon, heavy Saturday night through Sunday morning, 10 to 12 inches. Fort Smith, Arkansas, snow begins Saturday morning, continues through Saturday night, transitions to sleet and freezing rain Sunday morning, 6 to 9 inches snow, ice accumulation 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Fort Worth, Texas, same as Dallas, snow ongoing, transitions freezing rain Saturday night, total 8 to 10 inches snow, ice accumulation 1/10 to 2/10 inch. Grand Rapids, Michigan, snow Saturday night into Sunday, 6 to 8 inches. Greensboro, North Carolina, snow begins Saturday night, changes to sleet and freezing rain. Sunday, ice accumulation 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch, 4 to 6 inches snow before changeover. Greenville, South Carolina, snow begins Saturday night, changes to sleet and freezing rain. Sunday morning, ice accumulation 1/2 inch, 3 to 5 inches snow. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, snow begins late Saturday, heavy Sunday, 8 to 11 inches. Hartford, Connecticut, snow begins Sunday morning, heavy Sunday afternoon, 10 to 14 inches. Houston, Texas, rain Saturday night through Sunday, possible thunderstorms, no winter weather in city, possible sleet far north suburbs. Huntington, West Virginia, snow begins Saturday evening, heavy Sunday morning, transitions to mixed Sunday afternoon, 8 to 11 inches before changeover. Huntsville, Alabama, snow Saturday morning, changes to rain Saturday afternoon, 2 to 4 inches. Indianapolis, Indiana, snow begins Saturday afternoon, heavy Saturday night and Sunday, 10 to 12 inches, winds gusting 30 miles per hour. Jackson, Mississippi, rain and thunderstorms Saturday night. Freezing rain develops late Saturday night through Sunday morning, ice accumulation 1/2 inch to 1 inch, very dangerous, possible power outages. Jackson, Tennessee, snow Saturday, changes to freezing rain. Saturday night continues through Sunday morning. Ice accumulation ½ inch to 3/4 inch, 3 to 5 inches snow. Very dangerous. Jacksonville, Florida, rain Saturday night. Possible thunderstorm Sunday, no winter weather. Kansas City, Missouri, snow ongoing, continues through Sunday morning. Additional 6 to 8 inches. Total 10 to 12 inches, winds gusting 35 miles per hour. Knoxville, Tennessee, snow Saturday morning, changes to rain Saturday afternoon, 2 to 4 inches snow. Lexington, Kentucky, snow begins Saturday afternoon, heavy Saturday night, changes to sleet Sunday morning, 6 to 8 inches before changeover, additional sleet accumulation. Little Rock, Arkansas, snow begins Saturday morning, changes to sleet, then freezing rain Saturday night and Sunday. Ice accumulation ½ inch to 3/4 inch, 4 to 6 inches snow, very dangerous conditions. Los Angeles, California, no impacts from this system. Louisville, Kentucky, snow begins Saturday afternoon, very heavy Saturday night through Sunday, 12 to 14 inches possible, winds gusting 35 miles per hour. Lubbock, Texas, snow Saturday 4 to 7 inches. Memphis, Tennessee, snow Saturday morning, changes to sleet and freezing rain Saturday afternoon and night, continues Sunday. Ice accumulation 3/4 inch to 1 inch, very dangerous. Widespread power outages likely, 3 to 5 inches snow. Miami, Florida, no impacts from this system. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, light snow Saturday night, 1 to 3 inches. Minneapolis, Minnesota, no impacts from this system. Mobile, Alabama, rain and thunderstorms Saturday night through Sunday, no winter weather. Nashville, Tennessee, snow begins Saturday morning, heavy at times, changes to sleet and freezing rain Saturday night, continues through Sunday morning. Ice accumulation 1/4 inch to ½ inch, 4 to 6 inches snow, dangerous conditions. New Orleans, Louisiana, rain Saturday night through Sunday, possible thunderstorms, no winter weather. New York, New York, snow begins Sunday morning, heavy Sunday afternoon and evening, 10 to 13 inches possible, may mix with sleet late, winds gusting 35 to 40 miles per hour. Norfolk, Virginia, snow begins late Saturday, heavy Sunday morning, changes to mix Sunday afternoon, 6 to 9 inches before changeover. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, snow ongoing, continues through Sunday morning, additional 6 to 8 inches, total snow 10 to 13 inches, winds gusting 30 miles per hour. Omaha, Nebraska, light snow Saturday night, 3 to 5 inches. Orlando, Florida, rain possible Sunday, no winter weather. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, snow begins late Saturday night, heavy Sunday, may mix with sleet. Sunday afternoon, 8 to 11 inches, winds gusting 30 to 35 miles per hour. Phoenix, Arizona, no impacts from this system. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, snow begins Saturday evening, very heavy Sunday, 12 to 14 inches possible, winds gusting 30 miles per hour. Portland, Maine, snow begins Sunday afternoon, heavy Sunday night into Monday, 12 to 16 inches, winds gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour. Portland, Oregon, no impacts from this system. Providence, Rhode Island, snow begins Sunday morning, heavy Sunday afternoon and evening, 11 to 15 inches, winds gusting 40 miles per hour. Raleigh, North Carolina, snow begins Saturday night, changes to sleet and freezing rain. Sunday, ice accumulation 1/4 inch to ½ inch, 4 to 6 inches snow before changeover. Richmond, Virginia, snow begins Saturday night around 11 p.m., heavy Sunday morning, changes to sleet and freezing rain Sunday afternoon, 7 to 10 inches before changeover, ice accumulation 1/4 inch. Roanoke, Virginia, snow begins Saturday evening, heavy Sunday morning, 8 to 12 inches. Rochester, New York, snow begins Sunday, heavy at times, 9 to 12 inches. Sacramento, California, no impacts from this system. St. Louis, Missouri, snow begins Saturday afternoon, heavy Saturday night, 7 to 9 inches, winds gusting 30 miles per hour. Salt Lake City, Utah, no impacts from this system. San Antonio, Texas, snow early Saturday, changes to freezing rain Saturday evening, changes to rain Saturday night, 3 to 5 inches snow, ice accumulation 1/10 inch. San Diego, California, no impacts from this system. San Francisco, California, no impacts from this system. Savannah, Georgia, rain Saturday night through Sunday, possible thunderstorms, no winter weather. Scranton, Pennsylvania, snow begins late Saturday, heavy Sunday, 9 to 13 inches. Seattle, Washington, no impacts from this system. Shreveport, Louisiana, freezing rain Saturday night through Sunday morning. Ice accumulation 3/4 inch to 1 1/4 inches, very dangerous. Widespread power outages likely, 2 to 4 inches sleet possible. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, light snow Saturday 2 to 4 inches. South Bend, Indiana, snow Saturday night and Sunday 7 to 9 inches. Spokane, Washington, no impacts from this system. Springfield, Illinois, snow begins Saturday afternoon, heavy Saturday night 8 to 10 inches. Springfield, Massachusetts, snow begins Sunday morning, heavy Sunday afternoon 12 to 16 inches. Springfield, Missouri, snow begins Saturday morning, continues through Saturday night, 8 to 11 inches, winds gusting 30 miles per hour. Syracuse, New York, snow begins Sunday, heavy at times, 10 to 14 inches. Tampa, Florida, rain possible Sunday, possible thunderstorms, no winter weather. Toledo, Ohio, snow Saturday night and Sunday, 8 to 10 inches. Topeka, Kansas, snow Saturday, continues into Sunday, 7 to 10 inches. Tulsa, Oklahoma, snow begins Saturday morning, continues through Sunday morning, 7 to 9 inches. Tupelo, Mississippi, freezing rain Saturday night through Sunday morning. Ice accumulation 3/4 inch to 1 1/4 inches. Extremely dangerous. Widespread power outages expected. Sleet 2 to 4 inches possible. Virginia Beach. Virginia, snow begins late Saturday, heavy Sunday morning, changes to mixed Sunday afternoon, 6 to 9 inches before changeover. Washington, D.C., snow begins late Saturday night, very heavy Sunday morning, changes to sleet and freezing rain, Sunday around 11 a.m., changes to rain Sunday afternoon, 6 to 9 inches snow, very dangerous travel conditions, ice accumulation on top of snow. Wichita, Kansas, snow, Saturday continues into Sunday, 6 to 9 inches. Wilmington, North Carolina, rain begins Saturday night, possible mix inland Sunday morning, mainly rain coast. Worcester, Massachusetts, snow begins Sunday morning, very heavy Sunday afternoon and evening, 13 to 17 inches, winds gusting 40 miles per hour. Let me emphasize the most critical cities for life-threatening ice. Shreveport, Louisiana, ice accumulation 3/4 inch to 1 1/4 inches. Widespread power outages lasting days are likely. Monroe, Louisiana, same situation, 3/4 to 1 1/4 inches. Greenwood, Mississippi, up to 1 inch of ice. Oxford, Mississippi, 3/4 inch to 1 inch. Tupelo, Mississippi, 3/4 to 1 1/4 inches. These areas will see catastrophic impacts. Power could be out for a week or more in some locations. And then temperatures crash. We are talking about temperatures dropping to 10 degrees or lower. If you are in these cities, you need backup heat sources. You need to check on elderly neighbors. You need to know where warming shelters are located. Memphis, Tennessee, ice accumulation 3/4 to 1 inch. This is life-threatening. Jackson, Tennessee, 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch ice. Nashville, Tennessee, 1/4 to 1/2 inch ice. Little Rock, Arkansas, 1/2 to 3/4 inch. Fort Smith, Arkansas, 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Pine Bluff, Arkansas, 1/2 to 3/4 inch. Charlotte, North Carolina, ice accumulation 1/2 to 3/4 inch. Greensboro, North Carolina, 1/2 to 3/4 inch. Raleigh, North Carolina, 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Greenville, South Carolina, about 1/2 inch. For the heavy snow cities, Boston is looking at 16 to 24 inches. This is going to be a crippling snowstorm with winds gusting to 50 miles per hour. Travel will be impossible. Worcester, Massachusetts, 13 to 17 inches with high winds. Providence, Rhode Island, 11 to 15 inches. Portland, Maine, 12 to 16 inches with high winds Monday. Albany, New York, 16 to 19 inches. This could be one of the biggest snowstorms in years. Syracuse, New York, 10 to 14 inches. Rochester, New York, 9 to 12 inches. Buffalo, New York, 8 to 12 inches. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 12 to 14 inches. This is a major snowstorm for western Pennsylvania. Columbus, Ohio, 11 to 13 inches. Cincinnati, Ohio, 12 to 14 inches. Louisville, Kentucky, 12 to 14 inches. Indianapolis, Indiana, 10 to 12 inches. These snow totals will make travel extremely dangerous or impossible Sunday and into Monday. Do not travel unless absolutely necessary. The timeline is critical. Saturday evening and night, freezing rain develops from Texas through Arkansas into Tennessee. This is when ice starts accumulating. Saturday night into Sunday morning, heavy snow develops from Missouri through Ohio into Pennsylvania and New York. Sunday morning through afternoon, the heaviest snow hits the northeast while ice storm peaks in the mid-south. Sunday afternoon and evening, Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia change to sleet and rain while snow intensifies in New England. Sunday night into Monday, snow winds down in most areas but continues heavy in Boston and Maine. After the storm, here is what happens. Monday and Tuesday, Arctic air floods in. Temperatures crash to near record lows. Memphis could see 0 degrees. Nashville, 5 to 10 degrees. Little Rock, 0 to 5 degrees. Jackson, Mississippi, 10 to 15 degrees. And this is after a major ice storm knocked out power. This combination of ice damage and extreme cold is life-threatening. If you lose power and temperatures are near zero, you can develop hypothermia inside your home within hours. Carbon monoxide poisoning from improper heating is also a major risk. Never use a grill, generator, or camping stove inside. Never run a car in an attached garage. Have multiple ways to receive warnings. Weather radio, phone alerts, local news. Have flashlights, batteries, and a battery-powered radio. Have enough food and water for at least 3 days. Have medications filled. Have a plan to charge your phone. Have cash on hand because ATMs and credit card machines need power. If you have to travel during the storm, keep a winter survival kit in your car. Blankets, extra clothes, snacks, water, flashlight, first aid kit, phone charger. Tell someone your route and expected arrival time. If you get stranded, stay with your car. For those of you in the snow zone, if you must drive, do it slowly. Accelerate slowly, brake slowly, turn slowly. Increase following distance to 8 to 10 seconds. If you start to slide, take your foot off the gas and steer in the direction you want to go. Do not use cruise control. Do not use Jake brakes. Black ice forms on bridges and overpasses first. Slow down approaching these areas even if the road looks clear. If you are flying this weekend, expect massive delays and cancellations. Check your flight status before going to the airport. Airlines are already canceling hundreds of flights. Now, what about next week? The cold air is locked in. Florida will feel like the Midwest. Highs only in the 40s and 50s. Overnight lows in the 20s and 30s, even in South Florida. This is January weather in Cleveland, not Tampa. The cold extends through February 1st at least, and there are signals for another storm system around January 30th to 31st. It is too early for details, but it could bring another round of winter weather to the south and east. I will have an update on that system in my next video, but do not think about next week until we are through this current storm. Focus on the next 72 hours. Comment below with your city and I will respond with specific timing and impacts for your location. Thousands have already commented and I am answering every single one. Do not be scared, be prepared. Check on your neighbors. Have backup plans for heat. Know where warming shelters are. This is a historic winter storm. The combination of ice and extreme cold after the storm is rare and dangerous. But if you prepare now, you will be okay. Share this video with everyone you know in the affected areas. Make sure elderly relatives and friends are prepared. Offer to help neighbors who might need assistance. The next 72 hours will be challenging, but we will get through this together. Stay safe, stay warm, and I will see you in the next video with updates as this storm unfolds. And remember, in my next update, I will reveal whether that second storm system is still on track for next